My name is Bob Mumford, and we've been at this a few years. And I would like to talk to you a little bit about a theme that I have wrestled with night and day. I mean, literally night and day. And the theme is the nature of control. And who controls, how we are controlled, how we control others, and I find myself exerting control when I don't want to, and I thought, what in the world is all of this? And I don't want to go theological. I just want you to hear me address a situation that may help you and help us. A few years ago, we discovered what we called the 7 giants. And the 7 giants were look good, feel good, be right. And I could address all 7 of these, but look good, feel good, be right, and the center one was stay in control. Hidden agenda, and the last one was undisturbed. But the center one of that, the 6, there are 3 and 3, and the center one is control. And when I first saw them, I understood that if we could address the thing about control, the other 3 and the second 3 seem to lose their strength. That the strength of all 7 of these manifestations are based in my fear or my reluctance or my inability to yield the control that I feel I need to stay in command and make sure nothing goes wrong, and that my insecurities are all met. And I have a psychiatrist friend, full medical doctor psychiatrist, and she deals with some of the worst kind of patients and abuse, family abuse, and social abuse, and people abuse each other, and she deals in darkness all the time. And she said to me, Bob, I'm almost an atheist because I cannot understand why God doesn't intervene and control some of these things. And I didn't have opportunity to talk to her, but it hit me almost immediately when she said that. In fact, it just sort of brought me up to tears, because the first thing I thought of was, if God did control, we would hate it. And if God doesn't control, then we curse him and accuse him. And I had to laugh, and I thought, oh my God. And then the strangest kind of a thing swept over me, which was how absent God's control really is. Most all of us, I think most of us who have ever walked with the Lord any time, I said to the Lord, you don't have to knock on the door and come in and sup with me. Just tear it off the hinges and come on in, because I was so desirous of Father governing the internal desires. And then this is what I want to say to you. It's pretty scary. I'm suddenly understanding the new birth as a starter kit. We've made it to be the whole thing, but it really is a starter kit. So I received Christ, and I thought that once I received Christ, all these problems would go away. In fact, that's really what I was taught, that if you receive Christ, boy, then everything works and it all comes down, only to discover that it was, most of the time, it was worse. The journey was complicated, And I'm wondering where God was to do some controlling. And then I discovered two things, which is really scary. God will not lift us if we will not rise. And he will not carry anyone who refuses to walk. And I thought, oh my goodness. So here's where I'm at. And this is different. You can wrestle with it. I'm not putting it on you. I'm not trying to control you right now. What I'm trying to do is open your thinking to something that may really help you, which is, Father is actually reluctant to control. And the kingdom that we have been pursuing is our asking him to govern our life. And he says, I won't do that unless you sell it all and buy the field, and that you learn to trade your pearls as opportunities come. I am expecting from you human responsibility so that you can give me evidence that you want me to govern you. And I thought, man, is that ever different than anything I've ever understood? Now, my desire for him to govern me, all of us have thought, why can't I deal with that? Think of the stuff that is out of control and obsessive possessive disorder, it says, OCD. Think of the kind of things, diet and alcohol and dope and the way we drive and all the things that we do and kind of marital conflicts and father-son and children conflicts, and we're unable to control even this. And so I'm saying to the Lord, I need your control. And then I discovered he's reluctant to give it. And I thought, oh my God, is that? And the more I've lived, I'm now 84, and I think I know a little bit how life works. But I thought, he is reluctant to govern. And so then I thought, all right, I see this. He asked me to receive Christ as the governing authority in my life. Once I received Christ as the governing authority, then he asked me to give evidence that I want him to control me, to guard me, to guide me, to govern me. And so then I'm saying to the Lord, I need you in this. This is, Lord God, I can't face this alone. And then I began to see the actual jet-assisted takeoff, the Lord coming to strengthen the inner man and release my person in situations. And miracle of all, learning to keep my mouth shut. James said, no one can do that. Man, that is the truth. Give any such situations. And some of you have heard me say, how do I know that I'm governed by the Lord? And I said, it's simple. You stop talking to the other drivers, you know. I know, oh man. And so where did you get your driver's license? Pet Boys, you know. And so here we are, you know, ejaculating and responding and accusing. And so then I thought, no, there is a governing presence that I'm asking the Lord for. It's working. And I need you to see God as a father, not a control freak. He doesn't sit in heaven. And if he controlled, human beings would freak out. And if he doesn't control, they freak out and accuse him. So now I'm beginning to understand a little deeper the human predicament or the human problem. And so I'm asking you now, receive Christ. And once you receive Christ, he's a king. He's not only a priest to forgive your sin. He's not only a prophet to tell you that you need to be governed. He also gave you a king that you could yield to and allow him to govern and control the things that are out of order in your own personal life. I'm walking this way, and I'm finding a freedom that I've always desired, but it's come not out of resenting his control, but desiring it with all my heart and giving evidence that that is what I want. May the Lord strengthen you and use these words to impart something that you personally need right now. Love you much.